You're going to a different realm where women always want to change men and always want to fix the man.
I don't know if it was that. I just didn't believe that he was showing up as that person. It was.
Yeah, but you just described, if you did more, if you gave him love, you believe the more you gave him, eventually he will turn it around.
Eventually it would be enough for him to see that this life isn't working. You got to shift your shit because you're going to lose.
You wanted to fix him and change him. You can word it whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's very obvious if you're trying to fix and change him. And what I'm about to say is that can't change a man. Just like a man can't change a woman. We can improve. We can choose to change ourselves because of the person in order to grow, to be a better version of ourselves, to be with the person that we're with. A person cannot change us.
Shit, I'm about to go wait in this place when you dropping the bass in. The beat is like the streets of awakening. I'm making to break my foot off of somebody's ass. I'm waiting for someone to say my name so I can annihilate them. Okay, then everyone was screaming the rape when I was kicking at the gate till it caved in. Belly scraping by, but now I'm paid. Look at the paper I raked and I'm caking like Jay-Z and Drake. And I hate when people say that I ain't killing shit. The game is my playpen. I punch you in the face and end up breaking your break bands. I'm far from Hollywood. I'm posted up at the days in. Even though the industry say I'm the latest sensation. Drop the song at the board show. They're coming complacent. Mama saw me on TV with just a bum in the basement. You were Captain Save a hoe. You just tucking the cake in.
What's up, everybody? You Control You podcast. Thank you for joining us. I'm here with Melissa, and we're about to dive into an in-depth conversation about men, women, different aspects about life. And you know how I start every podcast. What I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for family, grateful for friends, grateful for life, grateful to God. And I'll just keep it really general like that. Just overall, I'm just very grateful for everything. And what are you grateful for?
My kids, health. I'm grateful for support, friends. I'm grateful to be here. I think This is awesome. This is super fun. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So we're in the middle of a conversation just talking about communication, essentially, and how now we're at a point where in our society where men are being asked to communicate with more empathy and communicate differently than previous generations. Mm-hmm. And I can understand that. It's funny to me though, and maybe not funny. It's confusing for me because what women are typically biologically attracted to over a long period of time is not the man that can communicate well. It's the man that can show up and do actions more than words. And if we were struggling financially, or if we were going through something, a lot of the empathy would be thrown out of the window. Look at the countries or look at the time periods where there was conflict and war. Women may have wanted more empathy and communication. However, they understood that man is not in that mind frame, that he is going to war, that he has got other things on his mind, and that he doesn't have the ability or the time to learn this skill to communicate this way. And now, because we aren't living in a war constantly, we're looked upon as we're trying to get men to evolve into something that we're just not. We're not nurturers, not in that realm, not to that extent.
I think we've done that with women though too, when they're evolving into the workplace. And so their mental shift has to change, as well as like if my husband or partner was going to war, my mind shift changes, my priorities change, things shift still. Same with in the workplace. If I'm going out to work, there's less nurturing that can be involved usually at home. I think a lot of women are spread so thin in those margins where they're expected to do it all when you can't do everything that well when you're spread that thin. So the expectations a lot of times are unrealistic.
Who's placing the expectations, though?
Society.
What part of society? Because men didn't ask women to go to work. Men didn't ask for that. Men didn't say this is a requirement.
Real men didn't ask for that. But there's a lot of men who are expecting women to provide some amount towards.
Are they expecting it, or they're not going to tell a woman not to work? Because could you imagine telling a woman, no, I don't think you should work? That doesn't go very well.
Right.
That doesn't hit on a societal aspect. Like, it wasn't men marching saying women should go into the workforce. It wasn't men saying, we need women to work. We need women to do this. So it seems like that based on history, the expectations that are placed on women to do it all are mainly coming from women, because men, we don't do, as a society now, do two people need to work in order to survive? Yes. That came about because women really jumped into the workforce. And so then taxes got raised, different things got, you know what I'm saying? Like, things changed overall. And so men didn't ask women to change.
I don't, I see what you're saying. I don't know that I can speak on exactly that, but I know that in relationships, men are constantly using that and hanging that over women's head.
Which part?
Not contributing. They do so much. They are providing. They are all of these things, and that they are expecting they're expecting more from women.
When you say they're hanging it over their heads, what do you mean?
Providing is now looked at as more of simultaneously you're supposed to be providing together versus separately. So when the man has the higher paying job, that's fine. But if she's not contributing at all, I think that
you mean financially?
Yeah.
Well, interesting. That's interesting. I want to meet those men.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that it's men versus boys, if you will.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's a problem if a man wants a woman to make money, if that helps them meet whatever goals they have together. So if they have this goal of reaching this savings or buying this house or buying this,
sure,
and it takes two incomes, then so be it. Or if it takes two incomes to sustain the life they both want to live, then I don't see a problem with that. If they're okay with having less and he's working and they are fiscal with their money and able to really save, I don't know if a man really cares if a woman's working. It's more or less, this is really interesting. I've never heard this perspective before. I've never ran into a guy that has this perspective. Typically, I run into women that they work because their man isn't making enough money and isn't able to provide them with the lifestyle they want. And then they're stressed out and they don't want to do everything at home. And I don't think a woman should do everything at home anyway. Even if she's at home working.
Yeah.
And that's her job, is the home. So
I'd argue that not a lot of men feel that way either. If that's her quote job and he goes to work, I think a lot of men hang on the fact that that's her role. Then
it is her role. It very much is her role. It doesn't mean that the slack can't be picked up at times. Like
100%. And
if I'm working full time and my wife is at home, I still don't expect her, or I don't even want her to touch the lawnmower. Don't touch that lawn. Like, I'm mowing that lawn. Don't take out the trash. I'm taking out the trash.
Yeah.
Don't do certain things that I don't even want her to do that. If she wants to build something, if she wants to fix something, so be it within, do you, I guess.
Right.
But taking out the trash, mowing the lawn, like, it doesn't mean I can't help with laundry. It doesn't mean I can't help with dishes. If they need to get done, they need to get done. So it is what it is. If she's sitting around all day on social media, now we have a different thing.
Right.
We have a different conversation. So, yeah, I don't know too many men. That's interesting.
I think in relationships I've been in, it's been a constant issue, I guess.
They want you to work.
They say that, or I've been, I was working. Then it was inconvenient for them because they couldn't do what they wanted to do because I was working. Then when I stopped working and was at home, then the expectations were different for me on the home front, which were literally unobtainable. And then
What were they?
I mean, everything from having every meal ready for myself, him, the kids, having things ready for people at the drop of a dime when they'd come over. Why don't you have this stuff ready? Why aren't you available? And the expectation, I guess more the expectation that if I was doing one thing, that I could also be doing 10 other things. Like, it should all be in motion all at the same time and running smoothly. Now, do I have a well-running home? Sure, but it's not that I'm able to do the laundry and make dinner and, please him and have his family entertained or whomever is over. There's preparation for that, which can make those things run smoother, which absolutely. But the expectation of having everything, like helping him with things that he needed, right? Like running a business. Well, I'm not running the business, you are. Well, no, now I'm part of the business and running the business, helping him, supporting him, which I want to do. But then I also am pulled away from other things. There's that understanding of like the amount of time things take and then the amount of energy you have at the end of the day. If you're both working and you're doing the best you can during the hours that you have, there shouldn't be time where when you come home and you want to relax, that I shouldn't also be able to relax if I've been doing the things during the day. That was not the case for me. So it put me into a over heightened, anxious state where you don't relax then and you're not able to have that connecting time. And then you have resentments and all these other things that pile in there.
So when you say expectations, what was the reaction that you received? So let's say, let me play out a scenario for you. I come home and for some reason dinner isn't done yet, right? So what would be the typical reaction? What would that man say? What would put me in that scenario?
Usually it would be something along the lines of, now this, like, I guess it would be fine at first, but then it would be, well, then now we're not going to get to this, or we're not going to. So it would be a drag along. It would be slowly getting frustrated with how the rest of the evening would go then.
But can you be more specific?
Yeah.
Because what do you mean frustrated? So was there frustration? How was frustration expressed about dinner not being ready? Was anything even said?
I think sarcastic remarks, probably, or nothing. Sometimes nothing was worse. Just knowing that, I mean, dinner wasn't expected immediately when he got home, but it was something that was like, okay, this is what, it ended up that what happened is he started taking over doing the cooking.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with that. That's great. That is 100% great. But then the resentment builds.
On whose end?
To be fair, on both at some point, because because there was nothing I could do then in the kitchen that was correct. His attitude shift. I don't know if he's a good example, but I mean, like, that's who I was married to.
Well, so. I'm asking because I don't like the word expectations. Like, I try not to use it because expectations mean that, and I see TikTok is not messing with me today. Again,
times two.
Yeah.
Times two.
So the issue I have with the word expectations is that if there isn't a standard or if there isn't a conversation set, then I shouldn't expect anything.
Right.
So if Corey and I, we do business together, right. If we have this standard and this agreement made, there can now be expectations placed upon that.
Right.
So if I say, look, right now, I don't need you to work. Why don't you stay at home and take care of the home? The conversation then should be,
what are the list of those things?
Yeah, what is it that you...
It's not mowing the lawn.
Yeah, like I don't want you to mow the lawn. I don't want you to take out the trash. I don't want you to clean the gutters. I don't want you to do these things. Are you able to make sure dinner's good every night? Are you able to make sure breakfast and lunch is good every day? Can you stay on top of the laundry?
Can you pack the kids' lunches? Yeah. I think that's a perfect conversation. It's just, it's not a moving target then for her to question, what is it that I'm supposed to do? And I think that's what it was for me, because communication was awful within the relationship. I think that stems from emotional maturity, but also the ability to communicate in effective ways is like number one most important in a relationship, in my opinion, because when those conversations were had, they shifted. It was always a moving target. There wasn't a way to say, these are the things that I'm doing, these are the things you're doing, and at this time, this is what we want to do. It always shifted. It always changed because his needs changed.
Well, yeah, everybody's needs are going to change over time. So I hear you on that.
Yeah.
What I guess the point I was getting to is that I've spoken to enough women, whether I've trained them in fighting, just regular students, had relationships where they place expectations out there and put them on themselves, thinking that's what I'm thinking.
Right. But if that was communicated and that wasn't, and she knew that, she wouldn't have that guilt, right?
But but if you put expectations on yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're not saying, I feel like I'm failing because I'm not getting this done, and I believe I'm expected to do that. How can I even communicate with you? Because I'm not thinking that. If I come home and dinner's not ready and I'm not thinking anything, maybe I'm just tired from work. I'm like, hey, how are you? Blah, 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 blah. I go about my life. I'm not mad about dinner not being ready, but you're expecting.
Because I wanted to surprise you. I wanted to have it on the table and ready and prepared.
But do you see my point? Those are all your expectations that I haven't placed upon you, that now you're painting. What does Brene Brown say? She talks about painting a picture inside your own head, and then you're not communicating said picture.
Right.
So now everything you're basing your thinking on is based on the picture you placed in your head.
Yep.
But nothing based in reality.
So for someone like me who has those expectations of wanting to overachieve for my partner, right? Like I want to be there, I want to support, I want to help. I am guilty of doing that, not just in my relationship with my partner, but beyond, in the workplace, in all aspects of life. But that wasn't the problem for us. So it was just never being happy. He wasn't a happy person. It matters who you choose as a partner. Like there was never going to be any kind of communication that was mature enough that was going to get us to a place where we needed to be.
I can feel you on that. I get told I'm not a happy person all the time.
Really?
Yeah. Because I just chill. My normal day is just me like this.
But I think that that's healthy. Because the high highs and the low lows aren't.
Yes, but what is happiness? What does a man being happy look like to you? Does that now, if you're saying he's always complaining or always making a complaint that you're not doing something, that's now you're into a whole different realm. Now you two aren't learning how to communicate your wants and your needs separately. Because I can want a blowjob every day. I don't necessarily need it. So if I'm asking for it every day,
communicate that.
yeah, I can. But see, that's what I'm saying. I can want dinner made before I got home every day. I don't need it. I could want certain things. I may not need it to. I don't need it to survive. So as a man, I got to be okay with. I got to recognize first in myself what I want and what I need are two separate things. And I think that goes. I guess that goes to what you were saying. The difference between a boy and a man. It's something that I think the first time I really had a conversation with someone about it was when I had retired UFC fighter Matt Brown here. And he talked about how women are chaotic. And to me, I describe them as a heartbeat. They're up, down, up, down, up, down emotionally because you have cycles. Mm-hmm. It's not saying men don't have cycles, but we don't have our emotional cycles aren't freaking chaotic like this. Once we learn how to be stoic and just be a straight line.
Yeah.
And I think it part of being that straight line is understanding what we really need in life.
And that comes with the emotional maturity.
Yeah.
And the difference between a boy and a man. I married a boy, someone who needed healing, someone who needed help, someone who needed a lot to be happy and genuinely couldn't find that. No matter what. Because he didn't love himself. He didn't care for himself. And the insecurities took over, I guess. I think the relationship that I've been in since my marriage, he was so confident and didn't want or need anything from me. My marriage needed things before it was a marriage. So just on the relationship part of it, when you're married, the expectations are there for certain things. But even in the relationship in the beginning, it was needs, and the amount of red flags that I can see now in hindsight were immense. But I wasn't in a good place either. So you yep.
There it is.
Yeah. And you attract, you settle or attract. I think both are pertinent in that. When you're not healed, when you're not in a good space, and when you haven't learned different. So there's different parts of life, that I can look back on now and say, holy cow, somebody should have stopped me. What was going on? Who showed up for me? Who was the voice of reason? And I had people. They weren't the typical people maybe in life that would guide you, but I did have guidance. But that emotional maturity for me, I don't know. I think I've grown so much and I've learned so much. So maybe I was supposed to go through that. But I tell you what, being with a man,
that's the interesting thing. I hear everything you're saying and I understand it. It's just 10 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, girl, like, of course you should have seen those red flags and walked away. Maybe 20 years ago, maybe not 10. I'll give, maybe 20 years. And now I look at it like, you can't say those are red flags. You can't say those are things because you pick the mirror image of yourself. So that's what we do in relationships. We pick someone that is typically, in a lot of ways, a mirror image of who we are or our biggest insecurities, our biggest issues.
Mm-hmm.
That other person highlights that. And so it's like, that's why I gave you the look when you're like, and I wasn't in a good spot. That's all that mattered.
Right.
Because if you were in a great spot, if you understood yourself, let's say, yes, you understood your value, take this version of yourself that understands you better,
mm-hmm.
put you in that situation, you shake your head no, but I guarantee if you could have probably navigated things a little bit differently,
mm-hmm.
communicated differently,
yeah,
which then...
Or stopped communicating. Why waste my breath?
Because you're married. And there's no such thing as and that's...
I'm thinking before marriage even. I would have never gotten there.
Yeah, before marriage, then yes, maybe you're not even attracted to this person.
Right.
Maybe you're not. And that is taking time for yourself to figure yourself out. But even if you're single, you can only heal so much mm-hmm. because it takes another person to help heal certain things because mm-hmm. you have to, again, it paints a mirror. So when you go through that,
trust yourself to be in a relationship where you can be vulnerable again.
Yes.
And
be able to walk away. And maybe you don't get married. Mm-hmm. I think you handle it differently. And so that's the biggest things that I'm hearing. This is interesting conversation. When you think of his role and her power, let's just go to the title because that jumped
mm-hmm.
out at you.
Yeah, it did.
What do you believe a man's role is?
So before I got married.
No, right now.
Right now. I mean, the last podcast, you were talking about all the different, I think it was, what was the one that you said was the number one for you? Because I didn't agree with it at first, but then I came around.
As far as what it takes for manhood?
Yeah.
What you're talking about?
Yeah.
I think you threw out leadership, but he was talking about responsibility.
Being able to, responsibility. Being able to be responsible for others.
Yeah. So I was saying leadership because I think in leadership, you're in a space. If you're in a space to lead,
mm-hmm.
you're in a healthier space, right? So you can lead your partner in ways that someone couldn't.
Yeah.
That is not as healed, if you will.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to those. No, sorry.
No, I agree with you. Leadership is a big quality. I think you can't be a leader until you're responsible for others.
Right.
Because what do you lead? Like you're leading yourself, but you don't know how to properly be. You don't know how to you don't even understand how to lead others until you're responsible of other people.
Right. And you have to have that care, not just for those other people, but yourself first. And so you're prioritizing because you have, a purpose. You have the purpose and the direction of where you want your life to go. And if you can bring that to the table instead of, I don't know, what do you want? I don't know. I mean, when I married my partner, he had said he had no idea what he wanted in life. He didn't even know if he wanted to be married until he met me. He didn't have an idea of what he wanted his life to look like or where he wanted it to go. How are you going to lead me?
How old was he?
24, 25.
That sounds normal to me. That sounds normal.
But even in that moment, no direction?
Yeah. Like I didn't even think about marriage until we started dating, until we got together. And now I'm thinking about it all the time because I want to marry you.
Right.
I don't know what I want to do in my career yet.
Right.
Because I don't know what I want.
And I can understand the relationship part of it. I think that there's men, even the last person that I dated didn't know that he wanted to get married until he met me. Like that's what some of the last conversations we had were about that. And I don't think that that's weird. I think having no direction or purpose or no moral compass, no guiding force, no...
You're saying no code.
No, yeah, like
no
nothing.
No code to live on. Now, what does that mean to you?
Chaos.
No. What does a code... Because for me, I think at 24, my daughter was just born.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working a job I don't like. I have a general idea, I think, what I want to do. I don't know quite how I'm going to get there yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just working.
Yeah.
Just to pay for my house, pay for all this. And it's tearing me apart because I know this isn't what I love to do, but I'm working 7 days a week, 8 to 10, sometimes 12-hour days.
But you had goals.
I didn't have them set out. Not really. I didn't write them out. I didn't understand them the way I do now. I was DJing and was like, how can I break in? How can I do more with music? How can I DJ more? Or how can I be a producer? Or how can I do that? And this is just in the beginning of MySpace days.
Yeah.
Maybe. Facebook, when my daughter was born, Facebook
we should pull up
wasn't
our
even
MySpace profiles.
I do not have that anymore. But what I'm saying is this is pre-social media. So like cell phones were still most of the time a flip phone. A BlackBerry was like the coolest thing ever. And so I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew work, take care of my family. I knew Kiara's mom wanted to go to school and go to college and become a medical assistant. My job was to pay the bills, make sure she goes to school, finishes that out, make sure that everything is provided for, and then we'll figure it out.
And that still is more than what he was able to offer.
So, okay. So you're saying, see, to me, that's just being a man.
Right.
I think you had personal aspirations of where you wanted to go. So that gave you some direction versus maybe what you're saying, Melissa, is there was no direction at all.
He was working when he felt like it. He was making money. He could do whatever he wanted because he could set his own schedule. So the partying was happening. Unbeknownst to me, I was going to work. I didn't know that he wasn't. I didn't know that he was. He would call me and he would say, hey, we're going out and it's Friday night, you know. I didn't know that he had been partying Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. I thought he was at work, right? That's what I was being told. So I was deceived. And
was he able to bring home money? Was he paying the bills?
He wasn't paying my bills at that time. But when we got into that point where he was paying for things and he was buying a house, he had me look at a house before we moved in together. And he's like, do you like this one? And I'm like, yeah, I think it's cool. We weren't in that process. And then all of a sudden he jumped into that. Well, you should move in with me. And we talked about,
Did he mess up money?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Over and over again.
Okay.
It's still messed up.
So, and I can give everybody messes, not everybody, but you can mess up money, right? And you can do that. Now, if you're not working and messing up money, that's a whole different story. Now, see, you say, and this is what's mind-blowing for me when it comes to women, right? Corey and I can describe what kind of woman we want, and it'll roughly probably be the same until you get to maybe physical aspects.
All right.
Right? So
write that checklist for me, guys, so that I know what all guys are wanting.
I mean, it really boils down to the same few things when it comes down to men. We talked about it in the last part. We don't want you sleeping with other people. That's mine. Don't flirt with some other dude. That it's mine. I'm like, and I'm saying it like that on purpose. Mine.
Yeah.
Mine. I don't need a mom. So if we're going to have a conversation, talk to me like I'm an adult, even if you believe what I'm doing doesn't show. Like,
yeah.
I don't look at the world the same way. So it just comes down to respect, loyalty. Like, to be blunt, like, I need a nut. Like, plain and simple. Add some food in there. Food is a bonus to me. Food is a bonus to me because I can eat myself. Like, I could, if you feed me, that's even better. Like, but most men want, like, it's dope because that's another way a woman can show love. And like, I've heard women say, like, we love cooking because we put love into it. We put love into our food, right?
But it's nurturing in a way.
Yes. Now,
Mama bird.
you described all that about men, right?
Mm-hmm.
So me at 24, you would have been cool with that version of me, right? That was going to work every day, taking care of business. You're able to pursue your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at home. Like, I'm not like going to the bar all the time. And if I do go to the bar every weekend, I'm working and making money.
Right.
So I'm DJing and doing what I got to do and making some money. And
are you inviting me to the club?
Oh, for sure.
I'm there.
You're good.
And that's the support then.
But you see my point.
That was not the case.
Now it's still on me. It's still on me, right? I don't put this on any other woman. My past relationships didn't work. That's on me 100%. What I was told is that I'm working 7 days a week. I'm exhausted. I come home and now I'm not going for walks. I'm not doing some of those things. I'm not spending family quality time. And I'm like, I'm literally physically exhausted. I am on my feet for 8 to 10 to 12-hour days, 7 days in a row, doing physical manual labor, lifting what's 50 times 1 to 300, like over, that's every day doing this. It's not what I love, so I'm emotionally and mentally tired and burned out. And now,
even though it seems fun,
my
the perspective of it could, if you're DJing and you're
out. The DJing is easy. DJing is easy.
Okay.
I'm saying the other job.
Okay.
If it was DJing, oh no,
I thought that was
no.
What was the other job?
I was literally making yogurt.
Okay.
I was making yogurt. Yeah, it was manual labor that I didn't get to talk to people. It was the most boring job in the world, but it was 1 to 300, probably even more, 50-pound bags all the time. Like, I'm going through at least 1 to 500 bags that are 50 pounds each every day.
And that, for me, that's where the empathy comes in. And as your partner, if I knew that, my expectations would change, right? If that was communicated to me, which I'm sure you did, right?
It was like I'm working all the time. But
right.
and I understand she was younger. I was younger.
Yeah.
I probably didn't communicate it the best way. It's like, I'm tired, yo.
Yeah.
Like, I'm exhausted.
But how you say that matters then. And so I would love to go for a walk with you. I am just so exhausted.
That is...
I say something and it says no?
No, TikTok is... But we're still good on YouTube and Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is what it is.
Okay.
You say that, but this is where the breakdown is. In order for me to get up at 4 or 5 in the morning, 4 or 5 in the morning to be at work at 6.
Right.
In order to work from till 2 to 4 and make it through that day, there's nothing empathetic going through my head right now. There's no way I am in war mode. I am in like, I got to get up and do this job. Now, I'm not literally going to war, but understand that I'm in survival mind frame because I am not doing a job that I like, that I genuinely love to do. This is breaking my soul. This is mindless work that I don't want to do.
And as your partner, if I could recognize that, or if you told me that, I would have said, it's not worth it. I'll go to school later. I will do something else. We have to have that time where we can reset at night together. Because if you can't do that, I don't think you survive it.
Could you say that? What I'm saying, could you say that at a younger
age?
And that's what so what we're tackling right now is understanding that how can a man in survival mode communicate like he's not in survival mode? So what is it? Is it Maslow's hierarchy of needs? That is like, because being in survival mode on the end of, like, basically at the end of that triangle or whatever it is, it's like your sex drive is heightened and you're just always ready for war. And that's the place I was in, mainly from my childhood all the way up until probably close to 40. And it was mainly just like, I'm not doing what I love. And now you want me to communicate like I'm soft.
So the interesting thing that you just said that I want to make sure that I touch on before I forget it. When you're in survival mode as a man, you're heightened sex drive.
Yeah. Well, that's anybody. That's anybody usually in survival mode. Sex drives are heightened, and your reaction to things are different.
Every man, or are you saying every woman?
Human, period.
That is the opposite for me.
It's so
when I can be in my feminine and softer, my brain is not going 1,000 miles a minute. I can relax and I can be into
so
that.
Survival mode and being secure are still two different things. They're not fully the same.
Okay.
Think cave woman that is in the cave and she's worried some saber-toothed tiger is going to come get her, and she's got to worry about that.
Okay.
She's ready to fight off that saber-toothed tiger. She's in survival mode, but that doesn't mean she isn't secure in who she is and in her life, because it is that's just her surroundings. That's right. What she's okay. She's used to those surroundings. She knows basically the difference is like, she doesn't have time to talk about her emotions. There isn't time to talk about that. There isn't time to
But you're
work
saying
through
she
the
feels
whys.
secure because of what her partner is providing in protection,
basically protection. So yeah, you're saying she trusts in him to do what he has to do, even though it's hell out there.
Yeah.
So yes, if you didn't trust your man to do what he has to do, that's beyond just survival mode. You're now in, like, he's not even able to provide or protect. Like, imagine this. Imagine you're married to a man. You trust in him. He's like, he treats you well. He doesn't communicate the best, right? Let's say he just treats you well. He never disrespects you. He never whatever. It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
But now you guys are broke. You guys are struggling.
Yeah.
You're in survival mode because of finances. But so is that going to take you out of your feminine energy?
Yes. Some.
That's a choice.
Some.
But
it's choice. Because I would be focused on other things. When your brain, for women, for me, I shouldn't speak for all women, but any women out there want to chime in. For me, the less chaos and the more I can focus in on me, the more I can let go.
I understand that. Something that's the part that's weird to me, because when you look at history, now granted, maybe women didn't want to sleep with men. Maybe they weren't turned on. Maybe they just did it, right? They just did whatever, because that was what they just gave it to their men, because that's what they needed to do. So we could say that they didn't want it. But did these women leave their feminine energy? Did they not act ladylike? Did they not function as feminine women throughout history? Like, we can, if we just talk about me and Corey's culture, black women were going through survival instincts, poor slaves, didn't have civil rights, and still trusted in their men regardless of what their men were bringing home. And like, you listen to grandmothers talk, and I'm talking like the generation that's barely, they're probably like great grandmothers now, and they're not even around. Like, they trusted in that man so much and trusted that things were going to be okay. And religion maybe plays a part, that if that man lost all the money, they were going to still figure it out. And she didn't down him. She didn't disrespect him. No. She didn't go at his neck.
And maybe I'm miscommunicating. I wouldn't leave. I wouldn't do any of those things. It's not that. It's my focus changes. And as my focus changes, it goes into more of that survival mode of now, if he was providing and he's my partner, now I have to help figure that out, right? So the next steps that my focus isn't on being soft. It's on figuring that out so that we can survive.
It's funny, or not funny, but I just thought of something. And I really wish I could put my finger on when it changed. Because instantly when you said that, I thought, okay, so if I lost my job, right, and we were struggling, and I said, look, I got us. I don't know how yet, but I am putting things together. I am going to make it work. I am going to figure it out. Just give me time. Roll with me on this. Now, if I said that, do you feel safe now?
I feel if you had not lied or done anything, and we had a good relationship, right? Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
Back in the day, men didn't have to say that. Women just knew that.
That they would.
That to me is a major dynamic change in the woman would marry the man and believe in the man, that the man was always going to provide and protect. And that to me comes from fathers being in the household, because girls were raised by man and woman, and because they seen their dads always be able to provide this, that they could trust in their husbands in order to provide that. So if things were really bad, the woman still trusted in the man. It's funny because this conversation always sticks out to me in an interview 50 Cent did. He said, I always thought my grandfather was a punk because my grandfather would give my grandmother the entire check. He wouldn't even look. He'd just give her the check. Just give her the check. And he finally said, well, why do you always give her the check? And he was like, because I want her to know exactly how much I make. I'm giving you everything I got. So now she never thinks beyond what she knows exactly what I'm bringing home. So she never thinks beyond that because she knows what I'm able to bring home. And even if it wasn't everything in the world, he was giving her everything he had. And she was like, that's enough for me.
Because that's how he showed his value in that. I'm giving you everything. It doesn't matter what the number is. I'm giving you everything I have.
But
that's a whole different thing than saying.
He didn't have to tell her. He didn't have to communicate empathy to her. He didn't have to do this. He was naturally just able to say, here, I'm giving you everything I got. Now you're asking me to communicate your chaotic emotions. In order to communicate with your chaotic emotions that are here, because you don't feel safe. You don't feel safe. You don't feel secure in your feminine energy because you don't trust in yourself. You don't trust in me. I have to now learn how to communicate through that to validate you, to make you feel good, to make you feel a certain way. How can I be a stoic man if I have to learn how to communicate with empathy? And empathy takes understanding all these chaotic emotions that I don't go through.
It's interesting because that's not how I have looked at it. So it causes pause because I'm like, well, that's not what I'm asking for. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be stoic all the time. I need you to not be erratic, but I want you to still have emotion. I want you to.
I can have emotions, but the difference is that you want me to communicate in a way that makes your emotions feel safe.
Emotional maturity, I think, brings that. I think my emotions can feel, however, they can be erratic, if you will, right? But the emotional maturity to work through that either way on both ends.
Are you presenting them, though, mature? And this is
I think it starts out mature.
I don't know I think if anybody, and I could be biased here, if the people that I believe learn emotional intelligence on a deeper level, on a full spectrum, are men. Because at some point, a man is going to get smacked in the mouth for saying something wrong. He can't and now, especially now, society is not going to let you speak to a woman. I'm not saying it was cool for men to put their hands on women, but a woman can cuss out a man and a man cannot. You You cuss her out back, you could be arrested. You get labeled as this, that, this. You are limited on how you can react as a man. Even though back in the day, women didn't talk like that to men because there was a fear of what that man might do. There is no fear of what men can do now. So men learn how to process these emotions. Now, do we learn how to communicate the same way? No, but I don't know if we need to. We don't need to communicate that we're unhappy and that we have these wants because our wants don't drastically change, I think. Does this make sense to you?
Some of it. I think I still have a healthy, I think just based on my past relationship, I have a healthy fear. I was threatened. The things that did happen were aggressive, abusive, neglectful, over the top, right? So there's still that fear, and there's still things that he got away with that people will never know, right? But when they get brought up, I think that there is more awareness, but it's still not talked about. It's not open. I honestly covered things.
That? So if, let's say, me and you are in a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I do something that makes you feel,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not the same, but makes you feel the same feelings you had in this painful, traumatic, abusive relationship.
Yeah.
And then you lose it. You absolutely lose it.
Mm-hmm.
And go complete chaos emotionally. And I'm required to stay stoic, which is understandable. But then I'm also expected to communicate with empathy and understanding of your chaotic emotions based on another man. Based on past, I won't even say another man, based on trauma. But if I come to you and if I come to this relationship, men fear other men. We always got to fear. There's a healthy fear of other men.
Okay.
Another man will not come up to me and just talk crazy 90% of the time based out of fear. They may want to say something, but they will not based out of fear that I will go upside their head.
I think how I look at it it's not about my past relationship. It's about me and you caring about me and knowing me and loving me and wanting that to be the premise, not my reaction about someone else. It'd be my reaction because of me, my traumas, right?
Yes.
But then in that, I get what you're saying. So I'm trying to I think that your response in emotional maturity for yourself, but if I'm reacting that big, right? Like if I'm having that big of a blow up, am I ready for a relationship? Probably not, right?
It could be too late already because you don't see, I talk about it all the time. This is why I never understood dating, and I'm happy I never did it because you only see their representative.
You just go right to marriage.
I go into relationships. A serious relationship. If either I'm smashing you or it's a relationship. I can't do we're just doing this. No. Even with my wife, when we started, it was meant to be nothing serious. That lasted like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and I said, look, I'll be honest with you. I can't do it this way.
Because you had feelings.
It had nothing to do with feelings. It had everything to do with mine. Look, this needs to be exclusive. I can't do I don't want you talking to another dude. I don't want you even thinking about kissing another dude. If that's what you want to do, if you want to date and move around and be able to move with different men, I'm no hate. Do you? We just no longer can get down.
So what changed for you?
I just recognized I couldn't do that. I've never been able to just yes, feelings. If I like you, right, and I'm not, you're mine. Like you're like I can't share you.
It's time. I think it's partially intention and time.
Yeah, like
that's how I would put it, because it's
I'm-
an investment of time,
once-
and I have an intention now.
Yep.
Then why am I wasted in this little dating space? Let's move towards that intention.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work.
Exactly.
But I'm deliberately moving in this direction now.
Yeah.
But that's also a man versus a boy. So that, you know, if
I've always been like that. If I'm spending more time with you more than sex, like I can smash you, not like you, and just send you on your way. I'm gonna be mean. I'm not mean, but you're not going to be able to get any emotional.
Distance.
You can't talk to me about anything.
Not mean,
like I don't want to hear nothing. Yeah, like
distance.
but
Emotionally not available.
And for me, I was just like, look, either this has to be exclusive, or let's just stop it now, because I don't want to like. And cool, but there was a buck at first. It was like, oh, you're changing. Like, no, you have a choice.
Right.
And at every step, when I said, this is where it needs to go. So like exclusive is like, well, where are we going? What are we doing here? Like if we're exclusive, why aren't we pursuing a relationship? Again, if you want out. I'm saying, and every step, this is what I'm like a serious, if we're exclusive, then why not a serious relationship? If we're in a serious relationship, why aren't we moving to marriage? Why aren't we looking to move in together?
Yeah.
Because what is the point here?
Right. No.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. And I think if you can communicate that, right? Like that's part of it. What are your intentions? What do you want? And then being able to communicate that, I think that's emotional maturity that shows you're leading.
But it's different. Do you see how it's different than communicating? I understand your feelings, and I understand that you want to paint the room like this. And it goes right back to the beginning. What women find attractive to me, what I've heard, what I've listened to over time in men, it's like you want men to still be stoic, show chivalry, show the utmost respect, provide, protect. But now you're asking for this other thing that was never embedded in us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can even learn how to do that. But the person that we're talking to may not have the same reaction because she's not the same in the same emotional state.
Yeah.
Which I think we can agree women aren't always in the same emotional state.
Right.
I love the show I Love Lucy because it highlights that to the 10th degree. Lucy Ball will be 10 different people for her husband, and her husband always is kind of the same person. Mm-hmm. He never overly reacts to a certain degree. He may raise his voice in there sometimes, but it showed what a man typically, there's nothing, he's not saying, oh, you want to paint the room, honey?
He's chaotic in there sometimes too. I mean, you got to throw that in there.
Chaotic?
He's chaotic. He
is maybe when he gets pushed to the 10th degree. Right? So there's a certain level of stoicism.
But what we want is, so the room, right? You could even say, I don't want to paint. I don't want to do that. But we want to hear that you'll do it for us, right? So like that's the difference.
Yeah, but
I don't want you to want to paint. Nobody wants to paint, right?
Some people do.
Hey, I mean, okay, maybe.
Some people do.
I mean,
like I think of my wife. My wife, she's had colors sitting on different walls. She's just waiting until it gets cold again. And she wants to paint.
You know what? I'll come paint with your wife. How about that? I will paint. I like to do that.
But what I'm saying, it's not about whether I want to paint.
Right. But she just wants you to say yes. She wants you to say yes for her. I will do that for you.
Is that being a leader?
Yeah.
Imagine me leading my fighters and they say, hey, should I throw this in this round? And I say, yeah, why not? And then they go get knocked out. And I tell them, well, yeah, I knew that wasn't the right move.
Right, but in saying yes. Okay, how about this? Well, let's take it a step farther. I love that you want to make this place a home. I'll hire somebody to do that. We don't have time. Because that's what you're saying. It's a time thing right now. So whatever it is, it's not a no to her, right?
So women don't like to hear, what I'm hearing is women don't want to be told no.
I mean,
Yeah.
sure.
Is this a test
There's times
of love and involvement? Is it like, I want to know that you were willing to spend that time, and so I kind of want you to acquiesce to this question?
Yeah, I can't speak for her on that because I don't know
this is ChatGPT. This was ChatGPT. We just painted a scenario,
right? And it would be different in different relationships and what you're looking for in the answer.
Yes.
So for me, in my first relationship, if we're using this all hypothetically, I knew he didn't have the money to hire somebody, right? I knew he didn't have, but he had the ability. And if I asked for help, or if I said I was going to do it myself, I would want to know that I could do it and that it wasn't going to be hung over my head. Do we have money to go buy the paint? Yeah, maybe. Probably not with him, but I mean.
Well, it kind of is, because you're it looks like you're looking for a specific response to prove something that either, oh, you are willing to do this? Okay, great.
Yeah.
I feel this way about you. But you're not willing to do this?
I think showing that you're a team player, that if I want something and I want it that bad, are you going to show up?
Why? Okay. Ooh. Here's the thing.
In whatever capacity you have.
How old is your son?
He's 10.
Mom, I really want to touch this pot on the stove. Do you say, I can understand that. And I can see, do you talk to him in an empathetic, do you explain it all out to him, or you just say, no, it's hot, you're going to get hurt?
So I do both. So it depends. So in that situation, the immediate is no, because of it's don't touch that. It's hot. But there's explanation there. And then I do talk it out, I think, a lot of times with him. I have a really empathetic kid.
Well, he's being raised by a mom, so that's why. That's going to pay dividends to a certain extent his entire life.
And it can help and hurt.
There's going to be drawbacks to that as well. But the drawbacks he can overcome. He's going to have certain traits that other men don't have. He's just going to have to play catch up in other traits that other men have. And so, but he can catch up with that. Like, he's going to be able to learn how to be a savage quicker than I'm going to learn how to communicate
your feelings.
Yeah. Like, it's not even about communicating my feelings. I can communicate my feelings just fine. Most of the time I don't have like, when I think about me in different relationships in different places, if I'm trying to think of a really good scenario, if you said you work too much, so how would you word that? I want to be able to
stay home with the kid.
How would you word that to me? That about me? No, about me working too much. How would you word that to me?
That I want to stay home, or that you're working.
That I'm working too much. That me personally, I'm working too much. How would you bring that to me?
Because of my needs or the kids' needs or the whole thing?
Whatever.
How would I bring that up to you? I think I would, it's first an emotional part for me. So I miss you. I want to be with you. I want you to be part of these moments. I want to share life with you. What can we do to maneuver life, to manipulate it to our needs? What do we have to do so that you can be part of these things more?
Shit. You know what? If you worded it like that to me, I'm making time in my schedule. Like, that's exactly how it should be worded, to be honest. Like,
thank you.
That if I heard that, I'm like, oh, I gotta figure this out. I'm like, yeah, let me rework my schedule.
Isn't that what it is about, though? I mean, ultimately,
yes. But do you understand?
Because I don't give a shit if the wall ever gets painted in the long run, because it doesn't change.
Do you understand the emotional maturity you just showed? Now, could you actually explain that way in a functional relationship?
I think I did, and I have. I think the problem is that the other person on the other line isn't there, right? Like, so when you marry, and let's say we were both at the same spot, I grew and evolved. He didn't. So even if I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, it's still not there.
Yeah, and right? Someone's always going to do that. Let's be honest about that. Someone's going to grow. The other one's going to play catch up. The other one's going to grow. The other one's going to play catch up within reason. you typically don't grow at the same level. Like someone's always going to be leading something. And so that's normal. The big thing is they have to catch up. The way you worded that though, instantly inspired in me. Like
it made you softer. You weren't defensive.
No. What it did is it put me more into my masculine. I was like, she's giving me a problem that I must solve.
That you could solve. Yeah.
I need to go. Sense. I need to solve this problem for her. And you brought it to me. You didn't bring me a problem. What you brought me are your actual feelings. And you told me the truth. I miss you. I want you to be home to spend time with our family. How? Now you're asking me. You're empowering me. You're saying, how can we make this happen? So not only did you tell me that you miss me, which makes me feel wanted, and I'm like, oh damn, yeah, I'm the man. You also encourage me more, like, how can we make, like, you're literally coming to me and saying, how can we make this happen? That is like
because you have value in
dream.
But you have value in the workplace, and I acknowledge that. But you have value to us. You're our man. You're our leader. You're our person.
You are asking it correctly. You are now, look, any man, I'm going to put it this way just because it's me. Any man is going to be like, I need to get home and serve her this D way more often. What does she need? What does she need from me? You need me to paint this room? You need me to do this? Yep, do this. And then it's like, look, man, her last name's Armstrong. I've talked about her before. Allison Armstrong. She's a therapist and a counselor and helps lots of married people. And she's an author. And she has this beautiful clip that talks about men are dogs. Men are dogs. Yes, I agree.
I need to see that.
Men want to greet you at home when you come home. They want to cuddle you. They want to be petted. They love you no matter how you are. Doesn't matter. They're going to love you no matter what. You just like they want to be scratched. They want, like, we are literal dogs. And the way you said that, I think if more women communicated with men like that, I think they would be shocked on how empowering that is for the man. What it sounds like is how the difference is you're not being a mom right there.
And I was going to say, I don't know that I've always communicated that way. So I might not have shown up as that person always. But I think that when it boils down to it, that's who I've tried to show up as. And though those words might not have come across like that always, you're growing, you're learning, right? I've never changed what I've wanted. I think I've always known my priorities. But my priorities don't revolve around what men would necessarily have that would shift and evolve. Like my priority in life has always been my family.
But that sounds like a woman to me.
But a man could have a job at 25 and not know his direction, which is what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, that hasn't changed. I've always wanted the family before anything else. So it was okay for me when we had the conversation about me not working. I was okay with that because I could prioritize that. Even though I built my own business and had a career and loved what I did, when it was needed, I would step back from my family.
You better be careful. These women out here are going to get you because you're talking about being a traditional housewife.
Mm-hmm. And that's not for everybody. It was okay for me when it was followed with the right. It ended up not okay because he didn't follow through on his word. He didn't do what he was supposed to. So then I had to go into survival, and we were grasping always. There was never a moment where we were consistently steady. There were months, maybe several months, maybe 2, 3, But then there was the low, low, and then the high, high, and the low, low, and the high, high. And being on that journey took everything out of me.
What if I told you that how women deal with, how a wife deals with her husband will dictate the pace of the house. How she is with her husband will determine most of the time how that man functions and how that man grows.
And I believed that, I think, to my core, which is why I stayed. He had addictions and everybody's got their own vices, I think, but his addictions and patterns were far beyond what anything that was like, I could lead, I could help, I could support, I could do everything right. I could give him everything I had and then some.
He should have been addicted to work.
If he had been addicted to work or even just like literally like, he had addictions to alcohol, drugs, pornography.
Can you be addicted to porn?
Yeah.
So what do you tell every 16-year-old kid?
There's watching it and there's a addiction to it.
Oh, I guess if you can't function without it.
Or if you're stopping in the middle of the work to go out to your car.
Oh.
We're talking like
I would have texted my girl. I've been like, hey, you not working? Come up here.
And that's the difference.
I'm coming home right now.
When you're finding it in other places because you're not confident enough yourself to be able to come to your wife because you know you've screwed up. You know you've hurt her. You know she's not willing to do those things for you anymore because you have done the egregious, cheating.
What was his family like? What is his dad like?
He was the provider. He went to work. He made money. And the family has a lot of addiction.
Or too soft on him?
Not emotionally there. But I think his problem lied with his mother more than his father. Well, so his biological father was in prison. Stepdad raised him.
Yep. There you go. Mm-hmm. Problem number one. Boom. Mm-hmm. Boom. So when you asked me before when we talked about him and I said learning how to forgive and then have empathy, when you could start looking at him not as your husband or ex-husband and look at him like a person that...
Oh, I have so much empathy for him and still have love for him and his situation. I just have more love for myself now. I found my value.
Well, I'm saying to let go of the resentment.
Yeah.
To let go and actually forgive. When you can get to a point where you can look at that. Mm-hmm. Now, that's not going to happen today. But I'm saying that's stage one.
Yeah.
Is when you can start looking at his childhood and say, oh, this is why you're messed up. I understand it. And blah, blah, blah. But we don't have to dive into that. I'm just...
No, I think I had empathy for that. And in part why I stayed. I tried to get past some of those things with him.
Are you mad at yourself still? That you stayed?
I don't know if I'm mad at myself. Yeah, maybe a little still. I think I'm frustrated that the reasons I stayed aren't why I should have stayed.
Cool. You learned some great lessons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Forgive yourself, girl.
I think forgiving myself will come from maybe having conversations with my kids. I think not from that. Maybe. No. I'm saying I made a face because it's not going to, I don't believe it'll come from your kids. What I believe is when you learn how to love yourself at a different level. Yeah. When you can love yourself, you'll forgive yourself because all you can do is live life. Yeah. And I do see that. I think it's just hard when I'm still kind of in the thick of some of those things. Yeah. And I feel better about my choices. I'm always the person who feels like I can look myself in the mirror, right? Mm-hmm. I am 100%. I will own up to whatever I've done or said. I will take accountability. Mm. It's It's that I still struggle with the internal, like, why did I do that? Right. I try to analyze. I look inward a lot. And so when I'm struggling with certain things, that part of it for me is like, okay, well, if I knew that, if I could have gotten there 2 years ago, how much better off would it have been? And so the going back. So even if I understand it and I know, I just have a lot of empathy, not just for, I have a lot of empathy for myself, but not as much as I have for other people. And so I have to get to a place where I'm more empathetic for myself in each of those situations. Like, and I've gotten to a place where I can say, you were doing your absolute best in that moment. You couldn't have done better because you didn't have the tools at that time. If I had the tools that I have now, like you said, I wouldn't have even entertained this man. It would have not even been a thought. But and I go to a lot of therapy. So every week I have a wonderful therapist, Rachel, who is my lifeline to talk through some of these things, because she's not so involved that she can sit back and say, okay, but you couldn't have done that at that time because you didn't have the ability and she'll list out 10 different things and I'll go, damn, you're right. You're right. How did someone not give me those tools then? I need help. I need to continue on this process. And that's where I think for me, I really want to help other people see and learn those things so that they don't make the same mistakes for as long as I did, and can love themselves and find that strength and maneuver through life a little bit different, right? Like I had value. I always knew what I brought to the table. I don't think I'm a bad person, right? Like I'm an all right catch. I mean, I feel like, but I struggled with then finding that value within the relationship when it was cut down or not valued. I'm like, no, let me show you. I have this. I'm great. I'm going to show you this. And I'm going to keep showing it to you, because then that's going to show you that you're loved and you're going to feel better about yourself.
Yeah. See, okay. Now,
and it comes to the fixing.
Now you're going to a different realm where women always want to change men and always want to fix the man.
I don't know if it was that. I just didn't believe that he was showing up as that person. It was.
Yeah, but you just described, if you did more, if you gave him love, you believe the more you gave him, eventually he will turn it around.
Eventually it would be enough for him to see that this life isn't working. You got to shift your shit because you're going to lose.
You wanted to fix him and change him. You can word it whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's very obvious if you're trying to fix and change him. And what I'm about to say is that can't change a man. Just like a man can't change a woman. We can improve. We can choose to change ourselves.
Right.
Because
grow.
of the person, in order to grow, to be a better version of ourselves, to be with the person that we're with. A person cannot change us. They cannot. Your therapist cannot change you.
No.
Your therapist can say, hey, these are the things that I'm seeing. These are the things that I'm noticing. That is 100% up to you to change it. And what you've learned now is that lesson, is that you cannot change. And you poured everything into something, right? And it didn't work. And you cannot change it. It wasn't for you. Now, you say you take accountability. You say, hearing the way you ask me to not work lets me know you know how to communicate with a man, because any woman that communicates with a man, because you're coming at me at a whole, like, you've just touched core points in my manhood that instantly raise antennas in my manhood that I instantly have to respond to. But if I'm not a man, right? If I'm not in my masculine, I'm not noticing that. I'm not trying to fix that. And you're going to work harder to try to change that. And there's nothing you could do. Just like I tell men, it is not your job to make that woman happy. She has to find happiness within herself. And let it be.
I'm trying to think of how that conversation would have gone if I said it the same way. I think it's defensiveness,
It doesn't
reactiveness, all of these things.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You see what you like, and I know why you're doing that, because I used to do that all the time. I used to do that with everything in my life. And it comes from being, it's not the downside of being introspective and looking inside, willing to fix and become better. But the reason why we want to fix ourselves and become better is because we don't fully love ourselves. And we're always trying to fix something in us to be a better version. The great side of that is we can reach some great heights. We can constantly get better. We can constantly improve. We can constantly push it. Even while we love ourselves, we can get to a point where we're like, no, we know we're great. I just now want to be greater. You already took the shot. You were on the court. You took the shot. You missed. Let it go. Shoot the next shot. And then shoot the next shot. And then shoot the next shot. And eventually you'll put up so many shots that you no longer are worried about shooting. And that's overall in life. I'm not even talking relationships. I'm saying overall in life. Because if you operate in fear, how are you going to live your life? You could say, man, I don't know how he would have acted this way. Who cares how he would have acted?
Right.
Because now you know how to speak to a man. You know how to speak to a man. And you had two men that just co-signed that, yeah, you speak to a man like that. Can I guarantee that 100% they're going to react the way you want them? No, but I can tell you that you have better odds shooting that shot. That shot is going to hit 90-something% of the time. And those are great odds when you're shooting.
Great field goal percentage.
Like, that's what you want.
Yeah.
You want to do the things that have that shoot for a higher percentage, because coming at it a different way, 50, 30, because I can tell you right now, one of the things that I got told in my previous marriage, and I didn't communicate my work, is you work too much. Okay, let me not work so much. You're at home too much. What? You work too, what? And what it really boiled down to is that I didn't communicate, look, this is a 5-year journey. I'm going to have to bare my soul to this. I'm not going to be able to help you around the house as much. I'm not going to be able to do the things. And I understand you're working a lot. I understand that. So things we're just going to have to figure it out.
When you started on that 5-year journey, was it before or after her?
During. I switched careers.
So was that communicated then? Was that talked about at some point?
See, what I said, and this is what I said, this is on me.
Yeah.
This is on me.
Okay.
Because I said, look, this is going to take up more time than I've ever invested in anything else. Are you prepared for this? What I should have said is, hey, give me 3 to 5 years to put my soul into this. Give me a 3 to 5 year window here to see returns, to see something, to see it grow. Give me that. It's going to be hard, but give me that. And I will show up, like, we'll sit down, tell me what days I need to show up on, tell me, and I only learned this from hearing freaking Kobe Bean Bryant talk about how he had to work this out with his wife, where it's like, we would sit down in off season. These are the dates you cannot miss. These are the days that you have to be here. And the more kids they had and the older they got, became more responsibilities. And so you have to show up. And so now, like, one of the things that got brought up, and I understood why she said it. She was like, my ex-wife said this about my new wife. She's like, you're willing to do so much. You move your schedule around a lot more. I'm like, you're right, I do. I'm financially in a different aspect now with my business that I can't operate this way. Before, it was just on me. Now I have a team. I can operate. I'm busier now than I was before.
And what's hard is that I don't know your business, if that relationship was something that you wanted to save and was worth saving for both of you, not just individually, but if that could have been communicated, and if she felt, and I just wonder this, I guess I'm asking, if she felt like she was invested in it and she was part of the team. right?
Yeah, that was
Hey.
that was something that was said too, and that was on that there was my previous marriage. There were so many things that I messed up
Mhm.
because I couldn't let go of things. Because when there were infidelities and I chose to stay, I couldn't move past them the same way. So what I was doing is slowly removing them out of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was pushing them to the side and kept them here and isolated from other aspects of my life because I felt so disrespected.
Yeah.
And I was so worried about how, and this is my male pride, and this is why I say men can't handle when women cheat. Cardi B has a song about it. Men can't handle women doing what men do. Hell no, we can't. We can't handle it. We're not built the same. Because I thought if I brought her around, anybody that knew what she did would instantly look at me like I'm a sucker. They're instantly in their mind is like, this dude's a sucker. And I can't, like, I'm instantly going to knock someone out if someone says that at that moment in time. Not now.
But nobody's going to say that.
Yes,
they're going
but
to
that
think
was,
it, and
that's
you
my
feel
own
that,
mind,
right?
my own insecurities based on
Right.
things that happened because I didn't let it go.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't react well. I didn't respond well to the chaos.
Mhm.
I didn't play my role as a man because anytime I was told what was wanted, I tried to appease that. And the problem with appeasing wants is that you could want something on Monday and want something different on Wednesday.
Right.
And it's my job to stay the course.
But it's a moving target. Though.
Yes. And when I finally figured that out, I just kept working. I just said, screw it. I'm going to be there for my kids. I'm going to work. And things.
But you
really
had already let go then at that point.
Yeah.
You were already saying,
yeah.
no.
I was already out the door.
100%. I had still chose to stay after cheating and things and moved past it. I was somebody that wanted to know more. And we kind of talked about that. Like you don't want to know. And I was like, no, I want to know because
if I finish, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I wanted to know only because what's the hang up? Like I'm giving you all of these things. I'm willing to do these things. Why are you going somewhere else?
So you wanted to know all the details once
I wanted to know the details. Yeah.
We want to know the details. That's also the problem. If once I knew she did this, I want to, okay, is he bigger than me? Did he do it better than me? Is he like, first of all, when are you doing this? Because like, I'm told you don't got no time.
Mm-hmm.
So you have time.
Mm-hmm.
You're just choosing to invest this time this way.
Mm-hmm.
You're bad. Okay. Like, I want to know details. Mm-hmm. And then I'm upset by some of the details. I'm like, yo, if he, like, please tell me he's like this and knocking it out the box. Because then I'm like, oh, so you with Superman. Like, I can't compete with that. That makes sense. Like, if Beyonce walks in the door right now, don't get mad. If she offers it to me, you can't get mad that I'm thinking about taking it. Like, come on now. Like, that's Beyonce. So my point in saying this is
if Beyonce walked in, I'd take it to you.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying.
There we go. But I'm saying like that was my mind frame. Like I don't want to know if I don't know. Mm-hmm. So if I'm with someone,
right,
and you're doing something, come home and treat me the same. I don't want to know and that was the issue. That's how I know all women aren't really good at this and it's really hard to lie to me because I noticed subtle changes.
But that's because you've had to read people your whole life.
Yes.
And you're good at it.
Yes. Yeah. So if like you change something, I'm like, why'd this change? I'm like, And then now I'm observing. Mm-hmm. Why did this change? Oh, you're back to normal. Okay, cool. It's just a bleep. Just a blip. Wait, you changed again. You're changing at this time, at this, what's up? What's going on? Why are you changing? And if you're not, most people aren't good at lying, so they have tells when they're lying.
Yeah.
And
you learn so those become your triggers, right? So as you go through a relationship with someone that's either narcissistic or, that was my situation, you start to feel those things before they even happen, right? Because those things, you can innately read those and your body tells you before you can even have that thought sometimes. So like I would get physically ill. Like I was so sick. I've been out of this relationship and I have been healthier in so many ways.
Why do you want to know? Like here's the thing. If you're finally we get to dive in stuff from last week. If you're with a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't there's nothing there, your spidey sense. I call it the spidey sense.
Yeah,
your spidey sense isn't going off. He's a good man to you. Everything is great.
Mm-hmm.
Your spidey sense isn't going off. You're saying you still want that man to come home and tell you that he just knocked boots with another woman.
I do. If that happened, I do. Because I don't want to be in the relationship then.
So okay.
Even if everything else is good. Because it will crack. It will crack.
It won't.
It will.
It won't. It will
I don't
not
know that
crack.
to be true.
It will not crack. I
haven't experienced that.
Okay, there you go. So you don't know.
I 100% don't know.
Let's say.
But when I didn't know it was happening.
He just wasn't a good man.
Yeah.
We can't count him. Let's eliminate this man because we can't count him. Let's say this man wasn't this man wasn't a good man to you, so you can't base anything off that. Now, let's go to
someone
norm.
Okay.
Let's say you get married again, right?
Mm-hmm. My past relationship, if he had cheated, which, I mean,
he could have, and you don't know.
Right.
Do you really want to know?
There's part of me that does at this point.
The trauma side wants to know.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Or you want to know what a reason that I've been told and it makes sense and that I've come to believe. Do you know why you want to know?
I had no doubt in our relationship. Like literally the happiest I've ever been in my life was with this man and the safest. I don't know if I'd ever felt safe in my entire life.
What if someone came to you with an envelope
and said,
and it gives the answer whether he cheated or not?
Yeah.
Do you understand why you would open that? Do you understand what part of your brain?
I don't know.
The unhealed, traumatic side wants to know.
Yeah.
Because then it validates all the pain, all the things, all the suffering. Because if you open that up and it says, no, he didn't cheat, you're like,
I knew it. I knew I could trust him.
Then you should have never opened it.
Yeah.
And that's why you don't go looking through the phone. And that's why you stay out of all this business. Because if you it's better to be naive.
It is better to be naive in so many ways. I think especially when.
Now, if he's popping out kids, or bringing home something, and those are things that you got to worry about if someone's dipping on the side, right?
Mm-hmm. You got me thinking about that. I'm like, literally like, what if I opened it and it said yes?
It would validate everything. You would say, I knew he was too good to be true. It was this. It validates all the pain and suffering. And there goes, now you added another layer of trauma for no reason. You just added some trauma on there that you're going to have to heal. And then some other guy is going to have to deal with that because now it doubled down. You just had to work. Now you had a piece of crap guy that you can excuse. Cool. He did this. And then you had the perfect man, what you wanted your entire life. You got that. And he did the same. All men are bullshit. I'm not doing this. Blah, 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 blah. Instead of just like chalk it up to each individual. And you don't need to go searching for it. Mm-hmm. You know what puts me at ease? I don't go searching for it. I remember looking for the stuff because I knew it was happening and I felt dumb. You know what? If I find out that my current wife, if I find out that she's cheating, I don't feel dumb because I'm not looking for it. I'm not accusing her of it. I don't care. It's like, oh, you did that? That was really stupid of you.
Yeah. You just messed up a good thing.
It's like, okay. I only have one decision to make. Do I stay or do I go? Mm-hmm. That's it. Do I stay or do I go? And if I stay, I understand it now. I have to forgive. But I have to have a different conversation. No, I won't look. I got to go back to being naive. And if I know I can't go back to being naive, then I got to go.
Yeah.
Because I am not going to alter who I am. You're not about to have me second guessing myself and looking like a fool because as a man, I have to trust my instincts first. I have to trust my gut. I have to trust my gut over my feelings.
She would have to make commitments to you she'd have to come to the table.
There's no commitment she can make.
But wouldn't
There's
she have
none.
to say something different? Like, wouldn't she?
Nope.
I don't know.
What is she going to say different? There's nothing that she can do.
Yeah, actions speak louder.
She would have to just be patient with me while I'm like, oh, so you going to the store? How long you going to be there?
Mm-hmm.
What time exactly are you coming home?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, I'll tell you, this is what really let me know that I had to let certain things go, is because whenever my wife would say, what time are you going to be home? Instead of thinking that someone cares about when I'm coming home, I instantly thought about my previous marriage and was like, oh, I'm coming home at this time. Why do you need to know? Because in previous relationships, I was asked what time I'm coming home so they can do whatever they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to let that go. I had to let that go so I can like, oh, I didn't even realize that. She was like, why do you always ask me why I'm asking you that? Oh, damn. That's a great question. I'm asking you this because I'm trying to protect myself.
Yeah.
Oh, that's stupid.
See, and I thought in my relationship after my divorce, like, I thought I was more, maybe I'm not as healed as I feel like I am, but I didn't have those words. You're like,
because no one's ever as healed as they think they are. That's not just you, that's everyone.
But women leave long before they leave, right? I was emotionally checked out for years and even communicated that. I said, I'm done. I'm 100% done. It's on you to figure this out. If it's going to get figured out, I'm not making any more movements.
Yeah, right then, you should have walked away.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing he can do. Because that's a choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
He could turn around and be the best man known to man.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter because you're checked out.
And had I had the financial ability to do so,
you would have I
would have.
Now,
because I was done, and I knew that at that point. I stayed for a lot of bullshit, and I know the exact moment that I checked out. I knew the exact moment when I was done, and I had to stay past that because I didn't have resources, because I put myself in a situation where I was bending.
What situation? Like, do you just say, what? Okay. Have you ever thought about changing up how you're wording this and looking at this?
Yeah. I'll go on that journey with you. Take me there.
You put yourself in such a, to me anyway, it sounds like I wasn't independent. I didn't have things of my own. You just took a bad shot. Because the core of you still doesn't want to be independent. The core of you doesn't want to be independent. That's not what you want. When you describe how you want a relationship, you want an interdependent relationship. So the way you're describing this, how are you ever going to be interdependent with a man? Because you're always going to be in fear that you don't have something to fall back on. And at the moment you start thinking about what you're going to fall back on, it's done. It's done. Talk to any entrepreneur, talk to anybody. If you got a plan B, plan A fails.
That's interesting because you
just took a bad shot. That's all it was. Like you chose someone and it just didn't work.
Yeah, 100%.
It just didn't work. And you did everything you thought necessary. But do you want to work while you're married to a man? Or do you want to stay at home and take care of the house and the family? Which do you want?
At my age, I think it is different. So my kids are older now. So I feel like I don't have that.
What if you wanted another kid? Do you have the capability? Like,
I'm capable.
Yeah. So do you want any more kids?
I would have said no. When you questioned me, though, I paused, which is weird. I'm not going to have more kids.
If he was still around.
I wanted more kids.
If he was still around. And he said, let's get married. I want to have a baby with you.
I would have.
Boom. So
we had the conversation.
Yeah. So, okay.
He didn't want to. And I had started out and I said, I don't want to.
Okay.
So if this is something that is a problem, we probably shouldn't, you know. And then as we fell in love, I would have done anything for him, literally. So that could have changed.
Do you want to stay at home? If a man,
I would have,
because your son's 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he's like, look, work part-time, let's say you picked a guy that ran a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Work part-time, just helping me do some things.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to be the best mom you could be.
Mm-hmm.
And take care of that. I want that. Just take care of the house. Make sure the kid, you're like, if you're with someone, they tend to take the kid on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, take care of our son and make sure life is good.
Mm-hmm.
Are you choosing that over working a full-time job?
Yes. And so I'm doing that because that's always been my priority, is family. So I'm not, some women want to be in the workplace more than the family. They don't have that same connection or have that same drive to have those moments. Like, I have some friends that, and
those stats are starting to come out now, and it's not favorable to women.
Yeah.
Those stats are starting to come out that women, as they get older, they regret not having a family.
Mm-hmm. Or spending that time with them.
Not all of them. Mm-hmm. or missing that time with them mm-hmm. because they chose career.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes down to it, the biology of men and women are different. Now, that's not saying that women can't work in the workforce, and I'm not saying that there aren't women that are okay their entire lives not having kids. There are very much plenty of people like that. But on averages, when you start looking at things, women are on more depression medicine than ever before. Mm-hmm. Women go to therapy way more. Women are walking into the life of a man, what men typically did, consistently, just men,
mm-hmm.
and they're not handling it the same because the workload is different. Like,
mm-hmm.
if you pick a job where you're nurturing, let's say you're a teacher and you're nurturing, and these kids are acting unruly with you, and you can't, like, they're disrespectful, they're trifling a lot of times in these schools.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel bad for all teachers. Can we just say that teachers should get paid way more?
Now you picked a field that you should be allowed to do what you're naturally good at, is nurturing, right. And you can't do it. You pick a nursing field and you're overwhelmed, or
you can't do it at work, or you can't do it at home, or both.
How you can't do it at work all day and then come home and do it.
Right.
So someone's suffering.
Yeah.
And if you give everything to your home, then go to work, you may not be able to give it to work the same way. And so that's the issue, because women naturally do not compartmentalize the same way as men do.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Thank you for watching. Please check out part 2 of You Control Your Podcast with Mark Evans. Shit, I'm about to go wait in this place when you dropping the bass in. The beat inside the streets of awaken. I'm making to break my foot off of somebody's ass. I'm waiting for someone to say my name so I can annihilate them. Okay, then everyone was screaming the rape when I was kicking at the gate till it caved in. Belly scraping by, but now I'm paid. Look at the paper I raked and I'm caking like Jay-Z and Drake. And I hate when people say that I ain't killing shit. The game is my playpen. I punch you in the face and end up breaking your break bands. I'm far from Hollywood. I'm posted up with the days in. Even though the industry say I'm the latest sensation. Drop the smoke at the board show. They're coming complacent. Mama saw me on TV with just a bum in the basement. You a Captain Save a hoe. You just be tucking the cake in. I fuck your baby mama in the